On this AVNation special, we talk with ISE Managing Director Mike Blackman. Look ahead to next week, Integrated Systems Europe 2017. What is ahead and what is brand new? All that and more next on this AVNation special.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is an AVNation special, Integrated Systems Europe 2017 preview. This is an AVNation special. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. About 2 or 3 days, actually, from right now, we are headed over to the beautiful city of Amsterdam to check out Integrated Systems Europe 2017. As of last year, the world's ginormous, most biggest ever AV show in the world. Here to talk with us is my buddy and pal, Mr. Mike Blackman. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thanks, Tim, and thanks again for the invitation.
Absolutely. Mike is the Managing Director of Integrated Systems Europe and also Integrated Systems Events. You guys started ISE, I say you guys, a little bit more background. Infocom and CEDIA, and at the time, NSCA, now it's just CEDIA and Infocom. Started it in 2004, not 2014, 2004 in Geneva. As of last year, that little show that is now 65,000 plus.
In attendance, yeah. The first show
How did you get there?
I mean, it's been quite a fantastic journey. And it's funny, when we started, I remember that the headhunter who approached me on this, he showed me the websites and he said, Mike, this job is made for you. And then the first show I attended was Infocom, and I said, wow, this is cool. And then I went to CEDIA, and I thought, wow, this is phenomenal. I said, this is my playground. And we started the first show. We got a lot of support, some really good exhibitors behind us. And, we just built it up. I never dreamed, I knew it would be successful. Yeah. I knew the show would be successful, and that's why, I came on board. I never dreamed it would be this successful so fast. And, it's been, I think, primarily that we're doing what the industry wants and we're doing it how they want it. It was definitely a gap in the market. And we filled it now. And I think, a lot of it's down to the people who are on board. We have, the greatest associations in this industry behind us. We have an advisory committee made up of exhibitors, of companies who are in the industry. Yep. And we have a great team of people working at Integrated Systems events to actually organize it. You put that mix together, and what else can you have but success?
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because you and I have talked about this before, and I'm fascinated by you and the group. I've said this before. I'm a big dumb American from the middle of nowhere, right? I live in flyover country. I grew up in flyover country, and so your organization is so disparate, right? You live in Munich. The offices are in Munich. You've got folks in Amsterdam, obviously. You've got folks all over Europe. How do you guys communicate and keep such a cohesive team together?
Well, actually, it's one of the things of the organic growth we've had. Really, more and more people each year to deal with the demand that we've had, and it started off with actually my sales director, who was based in Hamburg when I headhunted him, and I suddenly thought, Thomas, you've either got to be on the telephone or you've got to be out on the road. So it doesn't make any sense to move you to Munich or to Amsterdam. Why don't you stay in Hamburg where you live? So that was the best way to get him. And we progressed in the same way. And we saw certain roles where we said it didn't really matter about their location. And then when we actually made our home in Amsterdam, we decided to actually open an office there and have permanent staff there. Munich is because that's where I am. It works. So, and we started off actually saying, okay, we need to get together regularly, and I would have calls with the sales team, I would have calls with the operations team, I'd have calls with accounting, I'd have calls with marketing. And after a while, I found myself just constantly in calls. And then finally I said, look, guys, we have to be more efficient on this. Let's try and do this as one call. And we changed it to, we have Azure Fix every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. And It's the call happens unless it's cancelled. And there are times when everyone's traveling or there's a big event on or something like that, that will change that. So what we've done is always firstly with audio conferencing. Now we're actually putting a video conferencing or a unified communication solution into all our offices. And it means that all of our internal calls worldwide are free of charge. We have video calling, we can share desktops. So we're using the technology that we preach about at ISE. And it's been one of the things I've always said, that we should be state of the art because we represent the industry.
Absolutely. You guys are using what you're showing next week. So,
Yes.
Real quickly, if anybody's interested, and we'll say this a couple of times, it's iseurope.org, iseurope.org. If you're not registered, if you are in Europe or anywhere around, or honestly, if you're an American or North American looking for something new, and let's talk about that for a second. Over the last few years, ISE has become one of the spots on the calendar where folks release significant products.
Yes.
How has that evolved over the last couple of years to be kind of one of the preeminent spots to showcase new products?
When we started in 2004, we had hardly any product launches. We had one or two, but nothing really significant. But the industry saw that there was a platform here that could work, and what started happening were companies were starting to say, okay, let's actually do the European versions of our products and present them at ISE. Now, we were lucky in terms of the display market. A lot of the commercial versions of consumer products, or other consumer versions, were being launched at CES. Yeah. And we were following just a couple of weeks afterwards. And a lot of things which were consumer models turned into commercial models, or the stuff that was being shown behind closed doors was being brought to ISE to showcase. And as we got more and more press, suddenly the industry changed around, and more companies started to change their R&D cycles to actually use ISE as a launch platform. It fitted well because we're at the beginning of the year. Yeah. This has worked to our advantage. I don't know how many product launches we've got this year. I haven't got the tally of it yet, but there's certainly a couple of hundred in there, at least, that where new products have been launched and shown for the first time at ISE. So,
I was going to say, how important is that? I mean, how important is having your show be the showcase for product launches, whether it's a European product launch or an overarching, hey, this is for everybody product launch?
People go to trade shows because they want to see something new. Yep. That's one aspect. Networking and actually meeting potential or existing customers is also a key factor. But if you want to attract the press, if you want to attract people who do travel to all the shows, then they want to see something new. So the product launches are really important for us in terms of attracting the right audience, particularly on the trade side. And, ISE has evolved. Our attendees are split between what we would say channel and end users. Okay. So the channel being integrators, distributors, custom installers, and the end users being commercial end users. So these are the IT managers or the AV managers within companies or organizations. These are architects or consulting engineers. Those people who are part of the decision-making process for actually AV installation. So they want to actually find out what's new, what's state of the art, what should I be recommending the channel, what they should be recommending to their customers, and what can actually help them grow their business. And the end users, they want to have the state of the art. They want to have the best product for their organization. Yeah. Or the latest.
Or the latest. And I want to take off of something that you said there and then get into the hall and some of the education you guys have got going. You said interest the press, get the press there. Not for nothing, that's what I consider us at AVNation. Yeah. You have one of the largest contingencies of audiovisual press in one gathering in the world. How do you interest the press, and is it just the new products, or is it how do you get them coming back year after year?
Well, obviously we have special friends like yourselves who we work with, and we try to facilitate your journey and being at the show, and because you help us promote the show, and that's important for us. But on the other side, we communicate to the press. We work with a PR agency. We have our own internal PR people as well, and they continue making contacts, letting the press know what's going on, what's new, what's worth them coming to see. And for the press as well, it's very important because you guys are looking for something to write or something to broadcast. You need content, and what we've got is we're putting a lot of that content in one place in a very short space of time, so it becomes efficient for you.
No, absolutely, and that you do put a lot. We're going to get to the halls here real quick, and then the education. This is our third ISE, right? We are the newest kids on the block, I think, and my first trip out there, I was told by a lot of friends, manufacturer friends and press friends, don't look at the map, but don't have a false sense of security, because you had at the time you had 12 halls, and they're right. That map does not do the space justice. And now you've jumped. Last year I think we were talking about the fact that you were going to have one new hall. You don't have one new hall. You have two new halls.
Correct. Yes.
So
they're not
explain
huge,
that.
but they're two new halls. Basically, we anticipated growing. We work together. Our landlord is the Amsterdam RAI, and we talk with them on long term on how we see our growth and what we need. And it's not just for us. There are other shows as well that are growing, but we are the second largest event in Holland.
Oh, wow.
And we're quite significant for the city. The RAI did some estimation. They did some research, and they said that they worked out that for every dollar being spent at the RAI for an exhibition, another 12 is being spent in the city.
Wow.
Now, that's average on all their shows. Now, what you get are the local shows. They have a housewife show, which is very much a Dutch attendance. So that brings the average down. And these international shows like ISE and IBC and PLMA, where we have a very large international attendance, 76% of the attendees coming to ISE come from outside the Netherlands.
Wow.
And from last year, 65,000, that's a substantial amount of people. That means hotel beds, that means restaurants, that means taxis, that means public transportation. Phenomenal how, what do you call it, the housing platforms.
The Airbnb and the
Airbnb and such things are benefiting from shows like ISE. So you've got the whole spectrum of just being able to rent a room or an apartment privately, right up to the most expensive 5-star hotel in the city. So there's a phenomenal amount of revenue that comes into the city. There's more revenue that comes to the city than that comes to ourselves or Amsterdam RAI or anything else. So it's a big, big benefit for them. And there's a lot of work that goes on behind it.
Oh, absolutely. And so get them giving, or providing an extra hall or two is not that big of a deal. So they physically, one structure is permanent, I guess, permanently attached, but one is more of a temporary, but you can't tell the difference really on the temporary.
When you go from the fixed structure to the temporary structure, you will not notice the difference. Okay. It's really from the outside, you'll see it's a temporary structure. Once you're inside, everybody at ISE will actually go in from a permanent part of the building before they get into the temporary structure. It's comfortable. It's heated, not air conditioned, we've looked at quite a few, and what the RAI uses is quite significant and a very good structure. It's the first time we're using it. So we have the new building they built, new permanent building, plus the temporary building. When we actually started doing rebooking last year, and I don't know if you saw it at all, but we actually start the process of rebooking exhibitors into the show during the show, for the following year. And we anticipated that we would probably fill the new building. What actually happened is before we actually hit the last day of rebooking, we sold out completely. So we had to go back to the RAI management and say, we need your temporary structure. And overnight, they got plans together. They got their drawing office, putting a plan in with our people, with our operations department. They actually spent the night putting the plan together, ready for the next day.
Good night.
And so with phenomenal growth. What I can tell you is we're going to go grow again for next year. There'll be another hall.
Well, so completely not AV related, but more of a sales related. That has to make you feel good. It's a 4-day show, right? And that's one thing that's different about ISE than the other two shows that the CD and Infocom. At the end of those 4 days, you're already sold out for the next year.
Yes.
That right there speaks volumes beyond anything else that you and I are going to talk about for the next few minutes. That right there should speak volumes.
As I said, it's something where I think we're doing what the industry wants and we're doing it how they want it. Obviously every part of success has its problems. Oh, yeah. There's a famous Henry Kissinger term, quote, every success is only a ticket to another problem. We see that with our growth. We learn, we experience new things that we have to solve. And sometimes it takes us a year to understand. When we use a new part of the building for the first time, we're learning. Fortunately, our customers, our exhibitors, are quite patient with us in that learning curve to help us. Yeah. But we try and do our best, but we analyze everything we do, and then we look and say, okay, this was good, that was bad. How can we improve it? And this is a process that the ISE team does constantly with every part of the show. We look at the things which work, we look at the things that don't work, we look at the things that we throw away and say, okay, forget about that, and look at the things we can rescue and say, how do we make it better, and how do we provide the experience that both our exhibitors and our attendees want to have.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that you do that I found really, really cool, and it's something that, and you and I have talked about this before, and this is not anything new, because you're owned by Infocom and Cedia. Actually, I got to see you 3 times last year because you were at both of those shows.
Yes.
Trading, honestly, trading ideas, right? But an idea that I first saw at your show 2 years ago now were these small pavilion education that not just you guys provide, but Infocom provides, Cedia provides, other manufacturers provide in the different pavilions. How did that evolve, and what are some of the benefits of those?
Well, to tell you the truth, we would rather sell all the space, but I think I always use this adage that we're like a newspaper. There's advertising and there's editorial, and our exhibitors are the advertising, and we are obligated to create something which is neutral to actually help our attendees find their way around, or a little bit of induction. Part of the process of actually getting the commercial end users to the show was to actually provide education for them. So this started off with what the associations were doing, but we saw that at that time, and the associations are doing this now as well, and in fact, the theaters have been taken over by the associations. They actually provide all the content now, because what we've done is created lots of bite-sized induction courses in several areas. Now, a few little tricks as a trade show organizer. We see the corners of the venues that don't get so much traffic, and we create magnets. We try to put in attractions to actually help exhibitors who are in parts of the hall where maybe people take a while to get to attract the traffic there. So this was another reason for putting those theaters and education venues in there. But also a necessity to actually help educate our attendees, help them understand from a neutral point of view what they're being sold.
Well, it honestly, and not for nothing, I get to be a part of one of those on Thursday at 4:00 at the UCC Pavilion. But it's a great opportunity to get the one that I've done, and this is my 3rd year doing it. I'm very blessed and very honored to come back again. You've got a swath of manufacturers. You said editorial, and I'll use the word agnostic, because it's a great swath. I mean, Kramer is there, Crestron is there, AMX is there, Cisco is there. This is the one specifically about mine. But you've got a great opportunity to learn from a bunch of different folks. And it feeds back into what you were talking about with the 65,000 people. The way you got there, my opinion here, is you keep giving back to those folks and to those people that your core audience and the audience that you're trying to attract with the manufacturers.
I think it's necessary as a trade show organizer. If you don't create value and content, you're going to lose your attendees. And when you lose your attendees, you lose your exhibitors. Yeah. So it's a vicious circle. And we look at things like this and say, there are things that are really critical that we invest in to actually give the quality to the show and create the content that helps drive the business. When we started ISE, I actually said, we need to create more than just a trade show. We need to create an event. And that meant not just what was going on the show floor. This meant things around it and the education that happens, these theaters that happen, everything. It stretches then to things like the Innovate Awards being run by Innovate Magazine. Yep. We have various dinners. We have manufacturer meetings. We have parties, things that stretch the whole week until Saturday because there are things going on where everyone's getting involved and doing their part to it. What it actually does is create more value to someone who flies in from the US and actually say, well, actually, I'm not just there for the 4 days of ISE. I get to meet Mr. X, Y, and Z. I get to go to this party. I get to experience these award events. And I get to see Amsterdam.
Yes.
So I think we've really, and the first couple of years, I really canvassed around the media, canvassed around the manufacturers to actually put on events of their own. I said, we can do things, but this will still be ISE. We should focus our job to be putting the trade show and bringing the buyers and sellers together. What you guys need to do is help us enhance the whole program. And that's what's happened now. ISE really is an event. There is so much going on of extra value. I think it's one of the greatest networking opportunities you can get in the AV industry.
I would agree with that. As we wrap up here, let's talk about the week itself. We talked a little bit about the fact that last year was the first year that you went to 4 days. It's a 4-day event. Yeah. You have an opening address the Monday night before, but you've also got a Friday morning keynote to kind of bookend the two. Talk about who's talking and then why you decided to do that.
Yeah. So the initial idea, we always tried to do a keynote, and the first couple of years we were building up to the idea and weren't willing to really invest so much. But we got some good people in, and the idea of the keynote slowly built up. But when we moved to a 4-day show, I looked at this, and one thing we learned about ISE is that it always takes 2 years for a new initiative to really work.
Okay.
The first time we do it, people look at it, get used to it. The second time, they say, wow, that was good. I will go on the Friday. Well, we said, well, we can't afford that the Friday is dead. We have to, put some adrenaline in there to actually make it work. And we put a big program on, and we said, let's get a big keynote in. Let's get someone to actually come and talk who people will listen to. And last year we brought in Michio Kaku. We said, okay, we can't go downwards now. And my marketing team came to me and said, Mike, we still need something to open with. And we said, okay, what fits? And because the first day is our Smart Building Conference, we thought, why not get a star architect? And we were able to secure Ollie Sheeran. He is one of the most renowned architects in the world. He's won several prizes for some of the buildings he's designed.
Several awards, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen some of those buildings in Beijing, but he's really got phenomenal things around the world. So we said, well, that fits with smart building, but it fits to our whole industry. And so we were able to secure his services to come actually do the opening on the Monday night. And we think it's a nice bookend to tie up the Smart Building Conference, but a nice way to actually open up the whole of ISE. So by Tuesday morning, the press have something already to talk about, from the day before. But we still said we still have to invest in that last day as well. And we looked and said, okay, which are the areas which we're trying to actually get more people in? And live events was something which we said, okay, it's a very key area. We're building up our attendees in this sector. people who are interested in this, but it's also something very much of interest to the whole AV industry. Why not get somebody who would fit to that, but have a general interest for everybody else anyway? And I think everybody's heard of Cirque du Soleil. I think a lot of our people have actually probably been to some of the shows, and they are phenomenal. And so we were able to secure Daniel Lamar. He's the CEO. He's the one who has actually been behind a lot of the shows that they've developed that really have been signatories for Cirque du Soleil. And I think that both events will be quite eye-opening. I think we'll learn something from it. But I think just to listen to people like this is quite interesting to see how they got where they did.
Well, and the other thing is as an AV guy, AV professional, going to a Cirque show, just like me, listening to the architect, you're sitting there going, yes, this is cool. Absolutely. The visuals are stunning. The performance is stunning. But you're also sitting there trying to figure out how they did it.
Yes.
Right. You're trying to, I went a couple years ago to the Beatles Love Show, and
right.
There were some visuals there. I'm not going to give it away to anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but there are some visuals there that you're like, okay, so that's projection mapping there. That's lighting there. And it's great stuff though. And it's a great gig. If you are considering, or if you're, coming to the show, or I'm sorry, considering coming to the show, give me one or two great reasons why attend ISE.
Well, I think, you should come for a business reason. And the key thing is to actually, how do you improve either the way your company or you function and work, or the way you are running your business to actually make money.
Okay.
So I think those are the key factors you should consider first while you're coming along. The second thing is actually planning a visit to actually get the most out of that, to actually say, okay, what is my focus? What am I trying to gain from this? And actually going to see the companies who can actually help you in actually achieving that, or finding out what products and services and solutions are available to actually take your business forward. The second thing is that even if you are so deeply involved in this industry, everybody and everything, this is the most phenomenal networking opportunity. And, years and years ago, I had, and subsequently, I've had many people come to me talking about virtual exhibitions. Do you know there's something, we like to talk like this.
Yes.
But Tim, isn't it nicer when we meet and we shake hands?
It's much better.
And that's what it's about. That's what it's that touch and feel and see things in real. And we're in a business where, the visual aspects and the audio aspects don't come over a computer. You need to see and feel and touch and be there. And that's the opportunity you get by being at ISE. And also meet and feel and see people who can either be good for your business, be an enhancement of your business, or just seeing old friends.
Yeah. And not for nothing, but you get to enjoy the beautiful city of Amsterdam, which
absolutely
I have listened to this man for 3 years now, and I'm very thankful for his advice and his direction on that spot. So,
well, the city's taking notice of us this year, and in fact, the deputy mayor is coming to open up the ISE for us.
Very good.
So the deputy mayor of Amsterdam will be there to do the ribbon cutting with us, and we had some meetings with the mayor and the cabinet there. And they recognize the importance of ISE, not just in what it brings to the city, but in terms of what they want to do with their city as well. So I think there'll be quite a few people from the Amsterdam organizations actually attending ISE to actually see what they can do to enhance the city out of the technology that we have.
It is a great place to do that as well, because there have been I've not been everywhere, but New York for a couple of shows, and obviously Dallas, and obviously Amsterdam, and Vegas and Orlando, and you can see AV pretty much everywhere in all of those cities, and what not just the city itself is doing, but what a lot of the building owners and the property owners are doing to enhance the experience of just visiting the city.
Right. Absolutely. And I know on the second evening, CEDIA has their reception at the Van Gogh Museum.
Yep.
And they have a lot of AV installation. And it's interesting to see what is a very, very old building that they're actually, you're seeing facilities like this actually enhancing AV. And you have that on one side, and then you have the Amsterdam Eye on the other side of the harbour, which is a multimedia theatre. So you have all extremes there that they're actually pulling more and more audiovisual technology into.
No, absolutely. Well, Mr. Mike Blackman, I thank you so much, sir. Mike Blackman, Managing Director of Integrated Systems Europe. How do people find you or ISE?
Well, ISE, go to www.iseeurope.org. You can get all the information about the show there. I recommend you download the app. It's a great way to find your way around the show, see what's going on, find exhibitors, be one of the best tools that you can find. I'm in the organizer's office if you're looking for me, or if you can find me running around the show. I will be there the whole time. I enjoy this. It's a crescendo to a whole year's work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One note, if you received a pre-registration code, please use it by Monday, because after Monday, it's no longer valid and you have to pay.
Okay.
So, we're giving you those codes. We want you to use them because we want to really embrace the industry, and we give out via ourselves and through the various partners the codes so you can have free entrance. Otherwise, we're going to charge you.
All right. Well, use the codes that you've gotten from manufacturers or from us or from other publications as well. So use those by Monday. All right. Thank you so much, sir. My name is Tim Albright. If you want to follow me, go by the Twitters, or more importantly, our website. Our website is AVNation.tv. AVNation.tv. You will find programs like this. You'll find us in Amsterdam next week. And if you're not going to Integrated Systems Europe, you can go by the website and follow us along there. AVNation.tv. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. This has been an AVNation special.